Yo, what's up gamers? Lots of changes have happened over the last month in regards to 10.1 Mythic Plus, and I was waiting until I had a chance to step into the PTR before making a video on my thought. As a fast overview, Quaking, Grievous, and Explosive are going away as we move into Season 2 of Dragonflight. This means that last week was your last chance to play with Quaking, and this week will be your last chance to play with Explosive. So if you like those affixes, what's wrong with you? But also be sure not to miss out, I guess. There was also several changes to current affixes, such as capping certain affixes like Spiteful at Keystone level 20, changing Raging from a damage increase to a crowd control immunity affix, removing the health increase part from the bolstering affix, and further shortening the time of Sanguine Puddles. I really have a feeling all of these will prove to be an excellent change in time, even if a certain level of care needs to be taken when looking at the new Raging affix. To round these new changes out, and have keys progress appropriately for the new max end of dungeon drops at Keystone 20, affixes will now be tacked on at level 7 and level 14 instead of level 5 and level 7. Virtually no change for people running high-level content, but a nice ramp up in difficulty for newer Mythic Plus players. Along with these affixes rotating out, we'll have some new affixes rotating in. These are Incorporeal, Afflicted, and Entangling, and it was these affixes that I wanted to step onto PTR to check out. I know that there are some complaints with these affixes that early testers had concerns about, and I think in many ways Blizzard addressed these concerns. So let's start breaking these affixes down. First, I wanted to talk about Entangling. Entangling is a periodic snare that will have a vine reduce a player's movement speed by 30% until you move 10 yards away from the vine's source. Failure to do so will stun the player for 3 seconds. The first time people tested this affix, there were complaints that it was hard to see and might require a weak aura, but Blizzard has since fixed this, and there's now a sound effect that plays when a player is affected, as well as a green circle showing the distance you must move to break the vine. I don't know if it's just because we were in BFA dungeons again, but the circle kind of reminds me of the one that you used to get from Corruption. I don't think anyone is too worried about this affix. It's easy to play around, and most classes have an ability to either remove snares or move far enough away to break the snare instantly. I did see some players saying this could cause niche problems for tanks, since positioning is most important on tanks, but honestly, if that happens, it would be like a really niche case. I pretty much only play tank, and if there was ever a case that I really couldn't give up my position in order to break the root, most tanks have buttons to press to remove it without moving. Freedom, Tiger's Lust, Avatar. I'd say I would be most concerned about Guardian Druid, because while they can shapeshift to break the root, you would just die instantly. Really only Roar would work, and it's likely to be on CD from normal use. All in all, I'd say Entangling is welcome over something like Quaking. Next up is Afflicted, another periodic affix that will cause souls to spawn while you're in combat. These souls will begin to cast Afflicted Cry over the next 10 seconds. If Afflicted Cry goes off, it will reduce all players' haste by 100%, which will suck bad. Really bad, even. There are 2 ways to prevent this. The first being any dispel that can hit a disease, curse, or poison, or to heal these mobs to full health. This was actually one of the affixes that was capped to not scale past key level 20, meaning that should you need to heal them, it won't take your healer's next 10 globals to get it done. I think this is a good affix. It slots right into where Explosive used to be, where it's largely a healer role to fill, but can be interacted with most other specs if the healer needs some help. I do say most, because some classes such as Death Knight, Rogue, Demon Hunter literally cannot interact with this affix. I think that's mostly fine, even if it's a bit strange. I just wonder how bad it would feel to be one of these classes and receive a free negative 100 haste debuff that you have no control over. I really don't see that happening often though. With dispels being off the GCD, I was able to help out quite a lot on my Paladin tank. And other tanks such as Monk and Druid should have no problem making sure the healer doesn't fall behind. I know DPS often don't take their dispels, but perhaps in a Pug environment on Afflicted week, consider it. They tried to rework Explosive several times before removing it, and personally I feel like it's already been appropriately replaced with Afflicted. Last up on the new affix list is Incorporeal, a third periodic affix. I'm sensing a theme here. While in combat, immune mobs will spawn and begin to channel an 8-second cast called Destabilize. Should this cast go off, it will reduce damage and healing of the party by 50%, and I can confirm that this does stack. These incorporeal mobs last 20 seconds and must be kicked or stunned in order to stop the casts for all 20 seconds. AoE stuns do not work. These mobs also function as every mob type, so things like Imprisonment from Demon Hunter or Hibernate from Druid or Polymorph from Mage will all work on them, and I think that's where the secret with this affix lies. The first time we did a dungeon with this affix, we were having quite a bit of trouble kicking all the mobs enough. We eventually had a DC because PTR and ran it again, but this time our shaman took Hex and I took Turn Evil on my paladin, and not a single cast went off. I think we'll see a lot of value out of classes such as Demon Hunter, Monk, Mage, etc. in these weeks, as this type of hard CC will take a mob out for the entire 20 seconds. This might be a week where you make some changes talent-wise, like grabbing Asphyxiate on DK where you might otherwise not, which I think makes it a good affix. Take the right tools and it's easy, fail to do so, and it's harder. All in all, these changes have me very excited for Dragonflight Season 2 Mythic Plus. I want to take a look at the tank tier sets this weekend in PTR if I'm able, and if not, maybe I'll just post a bit of Theorycraft talking about them. I'm personally struggling to still find what class I'm gonna main. I mean, Prop Alley is great, but at some point the nerf hammer has to come down on them, right? Not to mention the recent changes to the Prot Warrior tier set are looking juicy. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, give it a like. If you were able to test out the new affixes yourself, or you have any questions about them, leave a comment below. You can find me streaming over on Twitch at twitch.tv/metallicrock. Peace out.